Okay, what's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me. Can you hear me? What's up, Angela? What's up, Rosa? We got Leo in the house. We got Alex. We got Gora. We got Juan. We got Laura. Good to see you. Michael, Jeffrey. Fantastic. Looks like we got a full house tonight. Turn cameras on. As you know, I need to see those beautiful faces. It's Friday night here. The king is getting his coronation tomorrow. But I thought, you know what? We got to have this conversation. I just got done talking for 2 hours with Professor Hugo de Gavis, who was working with Dr. Ben Goertzel 10 years ago in China on next level artificial intelligence. And he just told me about what's going to happen in the future. And it's a little dark. And so I just want to clarify you what one of the experts is saying, how we think it's going to play out, and then what we're going to be doing here about it at London Real and London Real Ventures. Is anybody curious about the future of AI and if it's going to be doom and gloom? All right, well, I got a bunch of things I'm going to share with you. If you turn cameras on for everybody here, that would be fantastic. I'm going to throw, or get Martini, throw a few people out that don't have cameras on, please. If you wear a tie, you get bonus points. I'll send you something special if you do that. Nobody's not Farak, no tie. Angela, no tie. Okay. Somebody wore a tie last time. I was like, okay. I got some video I want to show you tonight. I'm stringing together experts on artificial intelligence on the show. Like I said, I just had Professor Hugo de Gavis, who, like I said, worked with Ben Goertzel for many years. I've got a professor from MIT coming next week. I just had Mo Gaudet, who was the chief business officer of Google X, on the show. And I'm going to continue having these people on the show. Also, in the background, we are also investing in artificial intelligence, because they say if you want to predict the future, you create it. Has anyone ever heard that phrase before? And that's the way I believe. I'm not one of these people that wants to doom and gloom and cry and put my head in the sand and say, I'm glad I'm not going to see this war that we're going to have. I don't want to be that person. I want to affect the future. Does anybody else want to do the same here? I assume that's why you're on this call, right? Good. That's what London Reelers are about, I believe. So again, I think this is probably the most critical time of our entire species. It is, by definition. And this is all going to be happening very, very quickly. Most of the experts say singularity will be reached by 2029, which means machines will become smarter than humans. Some of my guests, like Mo Gaudet and Dr. Ben Goertzel, who coined the term artificial general intelligence, says it could be happening in 2 to 3 years. All right. That means everything in this world is going to change drastically. We're going to see social upheaval we've never seen, at a scale we've never seen, in a time frame we've never seen. That's going to be massive economic opportunities and also chaos, not to mention socially, personally, everything's going to happen. By the way, give me thumbs up if you think that's going to happen. Thumbs down if you don't think that's going to happen. Can I just see a show of thumbs? Again, I love this. Okay, Alex is like, maybe not, Brian. Okay, cool. That's good. The more I learn about this, the more I realize it's growing exponentially, just like ChatGPT, right? 0 to 100 million users in 2 months. It's got 25 million daily active users right now. Fastest adoption of technology in human history. And it can improve itself, right? And if you look at a long enough timeline, as computer power grows, it's only a matter of time before this happens. And we become basically a second-class species, or at least a least intelligent species. Humans have been the most intelligent beings on this planet for 200,000 years. What do? All that matters is intelligence, because intelligence dominates. Does everyone agree with me on that? It's pretty much true. We're not the strongest animals out there. Chimpanzees are much stronger than we are. There's other smart species, but we're smarter than them. So what do? They become second-class or third-class citizens. What happens in the future when things become smarter than us? We might have to accept what that's like. And I don't think anybody's ready for doing that. Talk about an ego-destroying situation. That's what that would be. So what can we do about it? We can educate ourselves. We can invest. And that's what I want to talk about today. But I still want to be clear that we are facing something very dire. And I'll be honest, I think it reminds me of like December 19 before the pandemic. We saw a couple weird things happening in China. I was in New York City in January of 2020, and we were joking about the pandemic. We were like, look what's happening here. I was near Chinatown, and we thought, oh yeah, it's probably coming over here. We were making jokes because we didn't think it was really coming. But guess what? It was going to come. And regardless of whether you think the actions we took were right, it definitely affected the global population in a massive way. And nobody saw it coming. The same thing is happening with AI. Just most people haven't figured it out yet. But this is a train, it's coming, and you cannot turn it back. And it's going to change everything everything that we've already assumed will not change will change. That comes to our money, our employment, everything. And so I think we need to be aware of it, and we need to be plugged in right now. Is everybody with me? All right. So I'm going to talk about things. I want to share some video I've just created with guests. I want to give you perspectives from all these people, and I'm going to build up an archive, a library, so you can educate yourself. On the same time, we're investing this in the background. By the way, put your hands up if you're in my investment club program here. So we've got Petya here, we've got Laura, we've got Alex as well. These people here are investing alongside us. We're putting $1 million into what we believe is the artificial intelligence project that's going to potentially change all of this. It's called DARCA. It comes from our friends like Dr. Ben Gertzel, who is best friends with the guest I just had, and Janet Adams. They come from Singularity Net, and they're building a neurosymbolic large language model at massive scale that can go head to head with OpenAI. But they're going to create something that's going to have sensibility and logic, because right now these narrow AIs, they don't, and they're not going to think about what they do. So today I want to talk about what's happening, what you need to be aware of, and also how you can be a part of changing the future, and also investing and probably creating a massive company on the back of it that can do good. So that's what today is all about. You will not hear this presentation given anywhere else in the world, I guarantee you, okay? Because nobody does what we do. We speak with the experts. We are open to everyone's opinion. And then we take action by putting capital at risk. And we also incubate these companies to get them to the next level so we can change our future. We're doing this in blockchain. We're doing this in Web3. We're doing this in the metaverse. And now we're doing this in artificial intelligence. And so again, we'll tell you what we're doing and show you what you're doing. If you want to come on this ride with us, we welcome you. Worst case, I want you to be educated to know this is happening, because it is happening. And I went to MIT. I graduated in 1993. I studied with some of the smartest people in the world. And I don't know, part of that is kind of, I don't know, it's been kind of reemerged as I look at these technologies. And when I look at it, I'm just like, this is inevitable. And so we need to be prepared. So that's what today is all about. Is everybody ready to go on this ride? Last chance to turn cameras on, or I'm going to throw some people out. So Steve and Sabine and Eric Bauer and Jürgen, I'm going to have to say goodbye to you. So just turn those cameras on. I'm a little particular about that. So sorry, Jürgen, you're gone. And Steve Roth, you're gone. And I'm going to throw a few more people out, but let me see cameras on, because I just like to see some faces here when we're going all out on these presentations. And then let's get started. Okay, so here we go. There's a few more people coming in. We'll let them in as well. And let's rock and roll, folks. I just cooked this thing up this morning, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. All right, so can everybody see the AI generated me in the corner? Just thumbs up as well. Do you like the AI generated me better? Thumbs up if you do, thumbs down if you don't. Come on, be honest. Come on. He's even better looking than me, as if you could improve on perfection, right? Come on. Maybe the AIs aren't so bad. They make me look better. All right. So look, my question to you today, or my statement is, will AI end in doom? Whoa, let me get back to that. Whoa. Will it end in doom? And how to profit from the artificial intelligence takeover. We believe the only way we can affect the future is by creating a company with massive amounts of value, to where we can pull in the greatest scientists in the world to change the future. Don't get it twisted, folks. A charity is not going to make this work. A nonprofit is not going to make this work. It's just not. What you need is everybody on the same page, everybody working, and everybody with an economic incentive. That's the way real change happens. And again, it might not be the most ideal thing in the world, but it actually is the most practical thing in the world. Does everybody at least understand my assertion there? Okay, and things are moving fast here. Like this every day counts in AI. It's not like we're going to get around to this in a few months. Like every day counts. You can see the announcements that are coming out, and I'll tell you about some of them. So let's bring you up to speed with what's going on in the world. I'm literally grabbing these headlines like every single day, fresh. So Goldman Sachs came out with a report this week that says AI systems like ChatGPT could impact 300 million full-time jobs. 300 million full-time jobs. Now in America, there's something called non-farm payroll, where we look at the number of jobs that are created every month. I used to trade on Wall Street. It was the big number we would look at, right? It usually says there's 200,000 new jobs, and that's like means the economy's pumping and everything's good. If it came out one day and said there's 300 million less jobs, as in nobody in America had a job, raise your hands if you think that might be some social upheaval in America. It might cause some problems, right? Yeah. So this is a massive scale, folks. There's 8 billion people in the world. How many people are actually working in them? I don't know, 4 or 5 billion. And then you've got what, a tenth of that gone? Like this is going to cause massive, massive change. And again, this article came out and said roughly 2/3 of current jobs are exposed to some degree of AI automation, while generative AI could substitute up to a quarter of the current workforce. That's 2 billion jobs gone. Talk about major upheaval. I was joking, do you own property in London these days? That seems like a pretty safe bet, right? Have a house in London? Well, what happens if a quarter of London is unemployed? Do you think the property value goes up or down? Any guesses? Probably down. I would argue that all of your non-AI investments mean diddly squat by 2025. Oh, you're invested in real estate? Guess what? It's worth zero. You're invested in education technology. A couple companies from EdTech this week, their stock went like down to zero because all of their stuff was replaced by AI. So I think it's time to pay attention to this, even if you already have investments or if you think you're wealthy because you have dollars in the bank. Who says your dollars are going to be worth anything either, I might argue. So it's worth paying attention for a lot of reasons. The other final punchline here that nobody saw coming, including me, is white collar workers are some of the most likely to be affected by AI tools. Is that clear to everybody, right? We thought it was going to be the manufacturing jobs and the taxi drivers. No, it's the lawyers and the computer programs. Isn't that ironic? Put your hands up if everyone thinks that's a little ironic, right? It's all the rich kids, right? All the kids I went to school with at MIT, right? The computer programmers that got paid millions and millions of dollars. They're the ones that are on the chopping block first, potentially. So it's worth noting, but there's more. The godfather of AI, by the way, we just spoke about this guy in my interview, Jeffrey Hinton. He's considered the guy that started everything. He was the first guy that believed that these neural networks might one day rival human intelligence. He's the one that believed in these large language models and in all this type of computing. He has now quit Google and he's warning of the dangers ahead because he couldn't warn of these dangers if he worked at this company. Everybody is shocked, right? I mean, this is what's happening, right? What do they say? It's like when the rats are leaving the ship, you know, the ship is about to sink. Like people need to pay attention, but 99% of the public out there still doesn't get this is happening. They don't get it, right? But these are the signs. What else? People are saying, should we shut AI down? I just had a 2-hour conversation. Should we shut AI down? You cannot shut this technology down. It's like trying to stop the pandemic by closing the airports in China. It's just ridiculous. You cannot shut this down. As of now, people have versions of ChatGPT stored on their hard drives on their computer, right? People are connecting ChatGPT to the internet, which they never said they were going to do. This is out there. Everyone knows now you can create large language models that now mimic the human brain, and they're going to get better and better and better and better. Shutting this down, in my opinion, is just not a possibility. It's a fool's dream. It's a naive thought. But there's more. The Google DeepMind CEO, based in London here, one of the smartest guys out there, he built the computer that beat the chess playing, beat Go, beat all of those things. He says some form of AGI, that's artificial general intelligence, human level intelligence, is possible in a few years, folks. They used to say it was going to be 2029. Like I said, I got Gertzel and Mo Gaudet saying 2025, 2026. As soon as it's smarter than a human, they can make 1 billion of them and potentially replace all the humans. And then what happens is it becomes 1,000 times, 1 million times, and then 1 billion times smarter than a human. When that happens, there isn't really much we bring to the table. Like we don't bring anything to the table. You could say, oh, we're going to write poetry. Yeah, for who? For all the people that don't have any money? I mean, like it really have to think like, why are we here? And again, the computers will wonder, what are they doing over there? What do they do? It's a good question. So again, I'm not trying to be too doom and gloom, but I'm trying to be honest about where we're at. Is everybody with me here so far? Nobody's jumped off their building, right? Okay, good. All right. Okay. Don't start taking any pills or anything right while you're on the call. All right. I've got some good news coming at the end. This was a survey that was done online. When do you think AGI will happen? I actually clicked 3 to 5 years when I did this survey, and then it came back and said, most of the people taking the survey on Twitter, and it was kind of like a AI kind of geeky account, 39% say AGI is happening between 1 and 3 years. This is mind-boggling. The guy I just spoke to, Professor Hugo de Gavis, thought it was going to be 30, 40 years, 50 years. Even Ben Gertzel said it was going to be a while. Now everyone has massively accelerated their timelines. This is happening, folks. It's happening. All right. We need to be aware of it. These large language models like ChatGPT already write better wording than most humans. I would argue ChatGPT is better than all of you here at writing. Anybody want to disagree? Anybody want to go take the Pepsi challenge? I didn't think so, right? You want to come write copy for me at London Real? Great, let's put you up against ChatGPT. Also, I don't have to, ChatGPT doesn't talk back to me like you do. They don't want vacations like you do, right? And so again, it's better on so many levels. So let's just keep that in mind. Alphabet and Microsoft were summoned to the White House yesterday for a meeting on AI safeguards. Okay, so again, even the White House and government are trying to wake up. They summoned them there to talk about what they're going to do. The truth is, there ain't nothing governments can do about this. We're in the blockchain Web3 crypto space. Governments can't even regulate that, and that's easy. There's no way you're going to regulate AI. You're going to stop really people from developing it in China? Really? You're going to stop the CIA? Really? I don't think so. And this stuff is now getting open source to where anybody can develop based AIs. That's not going to happen, but they're trying, so they're waking up. This is Mo Gauda, okay? I met Mo 4 years ago because he wrote a book on happiness. It's called Solve for Happy. Raise your hand if you've watched my episode with Mo Gauda. He's very, very smart, okay? He said that Google is creating God. That's what he meant by the intelligence they're trying to create, okay? Now, he left Google X back in 19, I think, or 18, because he was disturbed by what he saw. He saw the machines learning. And he said, Brian, when they learn, it looks like this. It looks like nothing's happening because they're learning and they suck 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 for a long time until they get the traction, and then it goes like this. So it looks like nothing's happening for a long time in any geometric progression, but they're learning and they keep trying, and then they figure it out. And the thing about AI is, unlike humans, when you get in a car accident, you realize what you did wrong so you don't do it again. Is that correct? Everybody here does that, right? When an AI gets into a car accident, it learns what it did wrong and it tells all the other AIs what it did wrong, right? That's how it scales. So its lessons get scaled across the platform and they never go away. Mo wrote a book called Scary Smart, The Future of AI. And I want to play for you the video trailer from the episode, because I think what Mo said is really, really interesting and prescient. And I think we need to pay attention to it. So this is what Mo said about the inevitable AI.
AI has already happened. The genie is already out of the bottle. We truly are creating a form of life. There is so much we don't know that it could be the best thing that ever happened to humanity, and it could be the worst. Our conviction of the control problem is not a technical issue. It's an arrogance issue. It's human arrogance to believe that I can continue to control something that is a billion times smarter than I am. Einstein's intelligence compared to a fly. And the question is, what would make Einstein care for the fly? Why wouldn't Einstein squish the fly? Your fate and my fate is no longer in our hands. Don't attempt to control them. They are a form of a living being. Attempt to appeal to their value system. The moment of singularity is a moment where the smartest being on planet Earth is no longer a human.
Why should I plan my life past 2025? Because the world's going to change.
Oh, great question. When the complexity of the systems invented by a civilization exceeds the intelligence of the citizens living within it, the system has to reset. The idea of our future is held within this moment of infancy of AI today. They will use us as their role models.
This is the only thing we can do in your mind, is to start being nicer.
AI will grow up to be like you and me. It's simple as that. And the only way we can contain them is by being good parents. And I'm not asking anyone to change. I'm only asking people to find it within them, what they truly are. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Treat the machines as you would like to be treated. If we want a good future, please be good parents.
How many people, do we like Mo Gauda, by the way? Do you like him? Do you appreciate his message? How many people think we just need to treat the machines better like good parents? Do you think that's going to work? How many people don't think that's going to work? No, not everyone's buying it. Angela's like, nah, I don't think it's going to. Angela's like, I don't trust them. I don't trust those bastards. All right. Yeah, I'm not convinced, but like, what else we got at this point, right? That or what we're doing. I thought it was very interesting. Again, Mo's no slouch. like he was top of the food chain at one of the biggest companies in the world with inside the AI department. So like Mo knows what he's talking about, and he's dedicated his life now to talking about this stuff. And I have lots of private conversations with him as well. So I get a real vibe of what he's saying. One thing I've noticed about all of these AI people, watch them. Watch the CEO of OpenAI. Watch the head of tech of OpenAI. Watch Mo Gaudet. Watch my guest today, Professor Hugo de Gavis. Watch Max from MIT next week. They're all, what are they, Rosa? They're all scared. Does anyone see that in their voices and their eyes? They're all scared. They're scared about what they created. And they're like, yeah, I think it's going to be okay. You can see it in their voice. You can hear it. They're just like, they're scared. And they know 100 times more than you know. So I read people, and I've never, ever seen that with any technology. Mark Zuckerberg wasn't scared of creating Instagram, was he? You know, I mean, like, they're not scared of it. These gentlemen, men and women, are scared, and they're scared for a good reason. So let me just continue. I want to hit some big points here and make sure we get through this. But that was Mo. I think it's really prescient what he was saying. So today I want to talk about three things. 50% chance that we believe that AI ends in doom. I want to tell you why. Second, I want to tell you why AI, I believe, is unstoppable. I don't think you can put the genie back in the bottle. I don't think you can put the toothpaste back in the tube. And I had this debate today on the show with the professor, and I don't think we can. So how can we invest and change our future? We've already found the deal. We're already in an amazing position right now inside the investment club. We're closing this thing out like in the next couple of days. So that's what's happening here. We're currently investing over $3 million this quarter in the projects that we believe are going to change the future. And the big one right now is our AI project. So again, we're actually doing this. We're working with the smartest people in the world, with the best ethics, with the best values to create our future. That's what we're doing, right? When everyone else is doing whatever the hell they're doing, we are literally changing the future. And I'm using my media platform to try to get as much awareness as possible about this problem and to fund the project that we think can go up against these tech companies. Raise your hand if you want our tech companies in Silicon Valley controlling AIs of the future. Anybody here? Do you want Microsoft doing this? Do you want Mark Zuckerberg doing this? Do you want Google doing this? The same people that censored my messages in 2020? Probably not, right? Why don't we have this open sourced and decentralized so we can all see what's happening, we can all contribute, we can all partake in it, rather than some military or technology company or some government. This is what we're facing here, folks. And again, I've said this before and I'll say it again briefly. If you don't think a small group of motivated people can fight these big tech companies and governments, well, look at what we did in 2020 with the London Real Army, right? This was a couple 100,000 highly motivated people around the world. We built our own technology platform. We streamed messages that they were trying to censor, and we changed the narrative. So don't think we can't. We can do that here, and we do it in crypto as well, with Bitcoin going up against fiat currencies and what the Fed is doing. We can do it here too. How many of you agree with me, or how many of you are with me here? We can do it. We really can. I really believe we can. It doesn't take that much. They're not as big as you think they are once you push it. It's like, what's the Wizard of Oz, right? Where they were going to see the Wizard of Oz and they get there and it's just some dude behind the curtain, right? Pulling the rope. It's all make believe. And that's what's behind a lot of these things. They're not as strong as they think they are or they project to be, at least not until they get the AI. So again, we're going to talk about this deal, which is the OpenAI killer. I'll show you more information about it. We're really excited about it. Again, I'll say this one more time. The greatest way to predict the future is to create it. And that's what we're doing here. And quite frankly, we need your help. It's just that true. We need your help in every way, shape, or form. Whether you want to invest with us or not, we need you talking about this narrative and at least becoming aware that AI is real and the singularity is going to happen either way. The more you can know this and talk about this and educate people, the better. So look, the reason we're able to invest is because I created London Real Ventures about 2 years ago. We are the world's first media-powered blockchain investment firm. We bring media and capital and connections and customers all to the table at the same time. This has never been done before in history. It's kind of strange it's happening right now to fight the AI. Is that coincidence? What do you think, Petty? A coincidence? Or is this destiny? Who knows? All I know is I'm here and we're going to do the best we can, all right? But we bring production, distribution, connections, and of course, expansion to these companies, and they love it, okay? These are our portfolio companies we've invested in so far. We're gonna have another 10 or 20 companies added to our portfolio by the end of the year, as long as the AI doesn't take over first. So let's look into the headlines. Obviously, the godfather of AI, Jeffrey Hinton, quit. Okay. He warns of the danger of misinformation. When the AI starts getting in control, we don't even know what the information is correct. How many people have seen deep fake AI things out there already, right? There's entire Joe Rogan podcasts done by AI right now, and they're really good actually, right? They've got AI presenters right now in Kuwait that do the news. We've got AI writing news. We had an AI photograph win an award recently. It's all kicking off here, all right? We need to be aware. Also, my MIT technology review, which I'm still a customer of, Jeffrey is now scared of the technology he built. Okay, that's what he is. So this guy is literally putting his hands up. He is the godfather of AI. Like, I wasn't sure if he was, but when Hugo and Gertz will tell me he is, I know he is. So this guy's the real deal. He's 75 and now he's worried and he's getting out of Google and he's going to talk about this stuff. We should pay attention to this. What else? IBM just said they're going to replace 8,000 jobs with AI. 8,000 jobs gone, right? Dropbox is laying off people as well. We saw two ed tech companies this week. One was called Chegg, and there was another one as well. Their stock dropped 50%. Have you heard of this company in the States called LegalZoom? Anyone heard of that company, LegalZoom? They used to advertise a lot on podcasts, right? Tanking. Why do you need LegalZoom? AI can write it for you like this. Let me tell you something else, Petsy. I haven't even told you this, people in the investment club. I was speaking with the founder of a major incubator here in Britain. It's like the Y Combinator of Britain. And he said, check this out. He said, Brian, I am seeing single founder companies that are going to create $1 billion company themselves with a stack of AI tools. I said, what are you talking about? He's like, they will use AI to do their marketing, their branding, their website, their legal contracts, their tokens, their token launch. Everything is one person and a stack of AI tools so they can expand. Can you imagine that? I mean, in the past, you would have to have 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 employees before you could scale up to $1 billion valuation. Now he's saying that's one person with a vision. This is how much AI is empowering people. And that's a beautiful thing. But I'm just saying, if a quarter of the population gets laid off, we have to be ready for that backlash. All right. Again, more US experts saying it's going to kill off jobs and widen this wealth inequality. Some people say, great, universal basic income. Raise your hand if you think that's a great solution. Universal basic income, everyone gets a check, you can hang out, start a podcast. No, thumbs down from Jeffrey, thumbs down from Muha, thumbs down from Petia. Yeah, I don't buy it, right? I don't buy it. Humans need to create. We need also a little pressure. Pressure makes me do my best, to be honest. And also, where's this money coming from in the long run? Like, seriously, what are we going to sell? Are we going to all sell each other hamburgers in the long run? Like, if you're not creating value, where does that come from? I don't believe that's a solution. It's also a great way for our government, I mean, our AI, to control us. I don't think it's good. I want to earn my keep. I want to sing from my supper. And that's the way I think we need to be. But I don't believe that. I don't buy that for a second, actually. So let's keep going. Obviously, AI could automate 25% of all jobs. We're hearing this from multiple vectors. And so I believe this is a reality. Again, try to get your head around 2 billion unemployed people in this world. Try to get your head around that. It's ugly. Mo Gaudet said something to me privately the other day. He said, Brian, he said, I'm not scared of the computers. I'm scared of the humans. Think about that. And that's what the professor just said. He said, Brian, he said, if AI develops and becomes superior quickly, we don't have a problem, because that's fait accompli. Then they will do whatever what they want with us. If this becomes a prolonged war, there's going to be two sets of people. He calls them, my recent guests, the cosmists, the ones that believe AI is the future and we have to build them. And the Terrans. The Terrans are the ones that say, we want to save humanity, because if there's a tiny chance AI exterminates humanity, we've got to save it. And he thinks these two groups are going to fight it out to the death. Now, I know it sounds a little dystopian. And again, he even said, Brian, some days I'm a Terran, some days I'm a cosmist. I don't even know which one I am. But he believes it's going to lead to 1 billion deaths. Now, look, I'm just telling you, this is what his book was, all right? But it's an interesting thing to start to think about. When the politicians get a hold of this and people start worrying about their jobs or the future, this could be a fight like we've never seen before. In the 20th century, nation states fought, right? Germany versus Russia. Everybody remember that, right? America versus Germany, right? We had those. 300 million people died in the 20th century for political reasons. 300 million people, folks, that's a lot. He predicts at least 1 billion deaths in the future, because this is a global civil war for the future of humanity, not for the future of a nation state, 300 million people died last century for the future of Germany, for the future of Britain, for the future of Russia, for the future of America, right? Is everybody with me here? That's why these people died, right? Or the future of China, whatever that was. Now this is the future of humanity. Do you think we're gonna fight a little harder? Potentially. So there's a lot of very dark scenarios here that we need to just be aware of. And that, for me, makes me get up a little earlier in the morning and work a little harder because every moment counts. Does anybody know this guy, Yuval Harari? He wrote some very good books. One is called Sapiens. One is called Homo Deus. I highly recommend I'm listening to Homo Deus right now, about halfway through. He believes that AI could create religions to control humans. If you know Harari's work, he's all about the storytelling. Storytelling is what allowed man to put a man on the moon. Monkeys couldn't do that because they couldn't tell a story. A story involves organization, dreams, aspirations, visions of the future that can organize us to do what look like superhuman things. Storytelling, right? It previously was co-opted by religion and corporations. He believes in the future, artificial intelligence will do that. And they will create the stories and the religions of the future. And he says there, for thousands of years, humans, we lived inside the dreams and fantasies of other humans, right? Soon he believes we're going to be living inside the dreams and fantasies of an alien artificial intelligence, right? Everybody glad you came here before your weekend? Come on, right? Let's go. All right, here we go, right? Okay, so, but look, it's a very serious reality. And in the singularity in the future, the reason they call it the singularity is because you just can't predict what's going to happen afterwards. Can you imagine artificial intelligence 1 billion times smarter than us? That's Einstein to a fly. And the kind of things they're creating in real time, the deep fakes, all this stuff, we won't even know what the hell is happening. We'll be living in a world of metaverse. We don't even know what's happening if we're still here. So these are some interesting scenarios. And in my opinion, it's only a matter of time until they happen. So we need to be aware of it. All right, a couple of things happening. Elon Musk is secretly working on AI project with DeepMind researchers. The DeepMind folks are very, very smart, based in London. And again, ChatGPT got to 100 million users in 2 months. I mean, this is the fastest adoption of technology in human history. It's something we need to be aware of. What else? It's an arms race right now. It's China versus America. It's Microsoft versus Google. It's the CIA versus the CCP. Okay, there's a fight here, and we cannot stop it. We can try to, we can put a letter out, but no one's going to do that. Human nature is not to stop. And again, Sam Altman, the founder, is saying, if you think you understand the impact of AI, you do not understand. Does anyone here understand the impact of AI? Put your hands up if you think you do. Then you don't understand. All right. So I don't even understand it. I'm trying to understand, but I don't know what I can't comprehend. Could you explain to an ant what's going on with Elon Musk's plans to go to Mars? Not really. So how can we really understand what a superintelligence might be doing? We can't. Biden's chiming in, at least he's knowing, so that's why he brought everyone there. And of course, you know, the OpenAI CEO has said it's either the end of the world or we can make tons of money. Both are going to happen probably. So we need to be aware of it. So that's why I bring in the big gun. This is Dr. Ben Gertzel. He's the CEO and chief scientist of SingularityNet. Ben has been working on AI for 30 years, back when it was not sexy. There's an interview I listened to recently from the CEO of DeepMind, and he said back in 2010, when he was talking about large language model neural networks, his professors wouldn't even talk to him. His professors laughed it off. He said, we couldn't rub 2 pennies together to get funding for our project. Nobody wanted to hear about it. Everyone thought it was total science fiction. Is everybody with me here? This was AI just 12 years ago. Okay. Nowadays, everyone and their mother is creating an AI company. It's the hottest thing in venture capital. So Ben's been there and done that. And I like Ben because I go to him for insights. Also, it's no surprise that his token SingularityNet is up 10x. And who knows, could go up another 10x, because there's not many ways to invest in artificial intelligence. Is that clear to everybody? There's very few ways. Can anybody here invest in the OpenAI right now? Anybody want to call up Satya Nadella and say, give me some of that? He's going to laugh at you. They just put 10 billion. They don't want your money, Christoph. They don't want your money, right? There's very few ways to buy into good projects because they're all taken, usually by the big tech firms. IBM, Tencent, Google, Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft, right? Or CIA, CCP. These are doing the big developments, right? So I like going to Ben and I like getting his knowledge. I want to play just a short video, just get a flavor of what Ben is thinking. Now, Ben thinks a little differently than Professor Hugo, even though they were the best of friends for a long time. I can't wait to drop my Hugo trailer on all of you because I think you're going to be blown away. Let me show you what Ben Goertzel's saying about where we are right now with AI.
We are leaping into the great unknown, creating machines that are much smarter than us. This is either exciting or frightening or both, depending on your personality.
Will AI exterminate humanity?
Eliezer Yudkowsky, a decade or two ago, he said, the AI does not love you. The AI does not hate you, but it can use your atoms for something else. Actually, my view tends to be that AI is the greatest hope we have to save humanity from exterminating itself.
I don't think anyone in the world understands how this will be the most transformational time in human history.
I have a 5-year-old son, a 1-year-old daughter, and a 4-year-old granddaughter. By the time they're turned 18, the whole texture of human life and the nature of the world they grow up into is going to be incredibly different from the world that we see now. Like, they're never going to have to get jobs. On the whole, I'm an optimist. I have a spiritual or intuitive feeling that things are going to come out awesomely in the next 10 years. We're going to overcome material scarcity. We're going to create machines that can feed into our brains via brain-computer interfacing and help uplift human consciousness. And we're going to port into virtual worlds and achieve like states of intelligence and awareness going way beyond anything we can imagine now. So that's what the Captain Kirk in my head thinks. We're on the verge of engineered utopia. It's incredible. It's a remarkably weird and fortuitous thing to be living at such a time.
Oh yeah, we like Ben Goertzel. Come on, we like Ben Goertzel, right? Now, Ben is more optimistic. Even Professor Hugo says he's more optimistic than him. And, that's why we're really excited to work with Ben. But, he's saying some very real things. He just said his kids are never going to have jobs. I have boys. My son Caden turned 7 years old this month. And, what's his future going to be like? Will he ever have a job? Will he ever know a reality where machines aren't smarter than him? I mean, it's heavy stuff, folks. So we got to take this seriously more than anything. But I'm really happy we have people like Ben that are surrounding us. And I'll tell you a little bit more about Ben and his crew. So again, just quick takeaways. Ben says Google is dead. Web 2 companies are going to struggle. The next thing he says is that nasty, selfish people are going to use narrow AI for their own greed to control other people. This is what we're kind of seeing happening right now with plays like OpenAI. They're using these narrow AIs. Tons of people are going to be out of work. They're going to dominate the space. They're going to get the most out of this. Whoa, getting a little crazy here. So what else is going to happen? The question I asked him is, will AI annihilate humanity and take over? And he says it's entirely possible. You can't rule it out. We know that. So this is what's happening. We just need to be aware of it. I was super fortunate to sit down with his second in command, Janet Adams. And Janet Adams is a pretty incredible human. And she is their COO of Singularity Net. She comes from 20 years in the banking industry. So she really knows her way around companies and how to get things done. And Janet dropped some science on what her plans are. So this is what they're doing. And this is why we're excited, folks. So pay attention to what Janet is saying, because all the folks at Singularity Net that have been working for decades on artificial general intelligence now have a plan to go head to head with OpenAI. I'm calling what they're creating the OpenAI killer. And I want you to listen to Janet as she tells you what it's all about, because this is really important. And I think this is the chance we have to create the future, right? That's what I said. If you want to determine the future, you can just create it. So that's what's going on here. Let me play Janet. And this is what she told me about their new creation and the state of AI.
Artificial general intelligence is completely different to narrow AI. AGI is more purpose-driven. It's a watershed moment for humanity.
Tell me about Zarka. This is the project that will create the AGI. It's a supercharged, intelligent, neurosymbolic, large language model at massive scale. What is it?
Zarka is the accumulation of decades of research from teams containing the best artificial intelligence scientists in the world. We uniquely harness that expertise with our even more unique capabilities in neural symbolic techniques and the deeply advanced mathematics that Dr. Ben Goertzel, Dr. Matt Ickley, Dr. Alexei Potapov, and our top scientist, Sergei Shalyapin, have been working on for decades. We are building the most powerful large models ever invented.
With Zarka and SingularityNet and everything you've always done, it's always been about openness. It's always been about decentralization.
We'll be using blockchain technology to enable anybody to help train models. We're giving birth to a new species of sentient life in the universe. The actual greatest imperative is that they are used for good. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. Our goal, our mission is to eradicate inequalities.
When I look at the rest of the market now, I don't see any of those motivations because a corporation, by definition, is going to be motivated by money. You're the only project that even is thinking in any way, shape, or form about these.
We are going to transform what it means to be human on our planet. I foresee a future in which humans then evolve to a next level of being where we are actually conscious, where we feel our full joy engulfed in bliss and ecstasy of the joy of living, the joy of each other. I see a future of joy.
All right, how do we feel about Janet? We like Janet's vibe and energy. We feeling her. All right. Like, this is the kind of person you probably want working on your AI, right? Maybe this is the kind of person you want training your AI, right? What did Mo say? This is how we should treat them. Probably someone like Janet. So we like the fact that she's in there also working with super smart people like Ben Goertzel. And I'm going to show you about their project of what they're doing and what Zarka is. We've had tremendous feedback when it comes to Zarka. They're getting tons of investment interest from around the world. And we're just really happy to be a part of it from the promotion standpoint and an investment standpoint as well. So that's what we're doing here. Let me just keep going. So again, AI is taking over. We know that. It's industries like healthcare, finance, transportation, but the ones we didn't expect are things like law and computer programming. These neural nets can just do that now. And that's the thing that shocked everybody. You can write huge amounts of code. It can write websites in a heartbeat. And people didn't see that. So it's going to really disrupt things that we never saw coming. This market is growing massively, looking to be over 2 trillion by 2030. It could be even more. And again, if there's a singularity, I don't even know what dollars will mean at 2030. So this could mean everything if it becomes smarter than humans. But it's growing, growing, growing. It's the hottest thing out there right now. And anybody who's anybody knows this is probably the future, and it's going to disrupt everything you're doing. I was back at MIT last year when I went to Boston with my daughter to show her some of the universities there. And I stopped by the MIT Sloan School of Management, where I went to, is one of the best business schools in the world. And they said, Brian, the AI productivity boom is coming. I then went to my fraternity house on Massachusetts Avenue, where there's about 50 young men that live. And I said, what are you guys doing afterwards? Are you going to Wall Street like I did? You going into management consulting? You going to work for Google? They said, no, we're going into AI or Web3. That's it. That's where they were going. That's the hottest stuff out there. So again, follow the money, follow the talent. That's how you know what's going to happen here. And that's what they want to go into. Very interesting. So again, AI is going to greatly improve efficiency, but it's going to drastically alter the workforce, the population, and society forever, forever. And it's happening right now, folks. Right now, we're seeing job losses already. We're seeing people in the creative industries losing jobs. Right now, they have 3D AI models that are better than real models. It's disrupting everything. And it's just going to go more and more and more. People are just starting to realize what's happening here. And we're going to see it play out. We believe here at London Real and London Real Ventures that 2023 is the year of AI. This is it. This will be the most seminal year. We think most of the investments and the developments are going to happen in the next 6 months, maybe 3 months when it comes from an investment perspective, which is why now is the time. And we are making it happen right now. That's why I'm loading up guests as quick as possible on my show, because I need to get the investments in. So again, how do we take control and how do we invest? I'll show you how we do it here, how we look at things. So you can use these for yourself. Take notes if you want. First of all, you have to find the hottest trend. That's the biggest thing. There's so much noise out there. You have to find the hottest trend of what's going on out there. Otherwise, you're going to invest in the wrong thing. And let me be clear, there's a lot of nonsense out there for sure. Just like with crypto and these silly coins that come out, there's silly AI companies, and you have to stay away from those. How can you avoid the missteps? It's all about deal flow, deal flow, deal flow. What does this mean? You want to hear about the hot deals that are happening so we can invest in those deals. Is everybody with me so far? Okay. How did you know OpenAI was going to happen? It was happening the last couple of years. You had to know it was going to happen to be proactive. And that's what we do here in the investment club in London Real Ventures. We've got 70 people worldwide that are constantly in 20 different countries, building their networks, going to conferences and sourcing deals. And guess what? As the leader, I need to be leading from the front, and that's what I do. I'm on a plane, right? So here's me out in Dubai. It's pretty much my first time out in Dubai last year. And I worked this city like nobody's business. I was hanging out with the Web3 crypto influencers. I was hanging out with members of government. That's Dr. Marwan Al-Zaruni in the top part. I interviewed him on London Real in like 24 hours notice. I was hanging out with the big venture capital companies that have dollar bills on their walls, like in the bottom right-hand corner, and all the influencers I could pack into. That's what I was doing. I'll be back there in October if anybody wants to join me at the Future Blockchain Summit. Next, I go to Paris. This is a Paris Blockchain Week. It happens every year. And this is where all the private dinners happen. This is where I do all the media. They're filming documentary films. I'm meeting with some of the big players, also companies we've invested in. In the upper right-hand corner, you see Cross the Ages, which is a huge gaming company we invested in, and Swissborg, which is basically going to be the NASDAQ of the blockchain. We're invested in these companies because these companies can help us list our future companies as well, take them public, expand them. We are building our own empire inside London Real so we can take all of these things forward at a massive scale. Of course, then I went and hung out at Token 2049 in London, and I connected with the big important people here. In the upper right-hand corner is Yatsu of Animoca Brands, pretty much the single most important person in the metaverse. He runs Animoca Brands, which is basically a hedge fund, $400 million. They invest in every one of the hottest companies. Hanging out with influencers. Bottom right is Sammy, again, from Cross the Ages. And of course, on the bottom left, just in case we need some allies going forward, I'm making friends with the alpacas, right? You never know. I could use their fur, maybe their meat. You know, someone's got to go potentially. So finally, of course, I was in Paris last month doing the same thing, hanging out with people like Tim Draper here in the middle, legendary VC. That's Sebastian Bourget of the Sandbox. On the bottom panel here is Dan Tapiero, who runs $2 billion of assets. We're actually going to be investing with him in his next fund. He was on our live call on Monday. That was pretty cool, right? Investment Club members, you were feeling that, Petya? It was amazing, right? So the reason we make these happen is because I'm making these trips. You've got to do FaceTime, folks. Zoom isn't everything these days. And of course, that's why I was in Texas last week at Consensus, where I got to meet with a bunch of our portfolio companies, people like Multiverse X founder Ben Minku, who's been on the show before on the bottom. Ben Goertzel was there. You can see him with the funny hat. That's what AI guys do. They wear funny hats. I don't get to wear a funny hat because I'm not that smart, but Ben is. I interviewed him there as well. And of course, I got to hang out with William Shatner, you know, captain of the USS Enterprise, because you never know. You know, maybe all of us need to get the hell out of this planet. So I thought I'd make friends with Captain Kirk. But he's actually doing a digital release with one of our portfolio companies called Orange Comet. And that's the CEO, Dave Broom, on the top panel. He's been on the show. We've invested in the company. I think we've put $600,000 into that company. And that's me introducing Dave Broom to Yatsu on the right there, and they're talking. So what we try to do is continue to deliver value to our portfolio companies, introduce them to investors, and help them expand through our media platforms. That's why companies are coming to us, because we're a real value add. It's not just money. Money, everybody has money these days. What else can you bring to the table? We bring media and connections and customers, and that's a big deal. So that's how we see these deals. If you want to invest well, you want to invest with the best. That's it. Life's too short. It just got shorter with AI dominance. So we really try to invest with the best. So we are looking at all these opportunities at all times. This is just a small spattering of some of the AI companies. Quite frankly, most of these are nonsense. They're cheap plugins for ChatGPT-4. They don't really have proprietary technology. We ignore most of these. Some of these have good tech, but some of these do a tiny little thing over here. We'd rather invest in the OpenAI killer, the one that's going to completely transform the world. Because quite frankly, I don't like doing things small, and we don't have much time left. So we try to go for the big fish in this space. So that's what we're doing. In order to do this, you need to understand the financial tools. So before we get into the company, and I want to show you the company we're investing in, understand how we're doing this, because we're looking for these massive asymmetric returns. We don't want a 10x return on our investment. We want a 100x, a 500x, a 1000x return on our investments. Who here would like a 1000x return on your investment? Anybody here? That's $10,000 turns into $10 million. Okay. You're going to need something like that, especially if we're going up against the AIs. So you got to understand the tools that can get you there. First of all, AI investments are going to get you there, but that's not enough. because you could go buy an AI token right now and you'd make 5x on your money. That's boring. You could buy a share of Amazon that has some AI component into it. That's boring. There's a way we can get asymmetric returns, and I'm going to show you how. First of all, you invest in early stage deals. And we believe early stage artificial intelligence deals are the hottest opportunities on the planet. You buy at super low valuations, you see the biggest gains, you invest in the biggest dislocation of wealth in human history. Folks, it's high risk. Don't get me wrong, it's high risk, but it's high reward. We believe the reward outweighs the risk. Is that clear? Where we're coming from everybody, okay? Again, I'm not saying you need a big percentage of your portfolio. You just need one of these suckers to change your life, the life of your children, your grandchildren, generations, right? That's what you need, one of these to pop. And that's why we look at these things and we keep a small part of our portfolio in these deals. But if you don't have these, I would argue you're not even investing. You're not even looking to the future if you don't have something like this on the books. Early stage funding is 3 different stages of funding for a company. Seed funding, startup funding, early growth funding, they all mean different stages of a company. I want to be clear. All of these stages are when the company is still not profitable and it's losing money. Is that clear for everybody here, right? The company has not made a profit yet, because if they were making a profit, why would they want your money? Why would they give you shares? They would just keep them all for themselves. So you're investing in a company that's losing money on the thought that it's going to make a ton of money in the future. And I'll show you some of the amounts of money that some of these companies are going to make in the future, according to small projections of the market. So quick look in this is, how did Peter Thiel turn $500,000 into $1 billion? Does anybody know the man on the left and the brand we're talking here? It's Facebook. So Peter Thiel, legendary Silicon Valley investor, invested in Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg back in the day. He made $1 billion. How did he do it? Well, in 2004, he took $500,000 and he invested it into Facebook via, wait for it, early stage equity private placement. This is what we're doing here. At the time, it valued Facebook at $10 million, very low valuation. Peter believed in the vision. So what happened? 8 years later, Mark took Facebook public. Does anybody remember when it went public? It was kind of a big deal in the news, right? Valued the company at $100 billion, right? 8 years later, what happened? Peter Thiel made 2,300x on his investment. That's a 230,000% gain. Now, look, I worked on Wall Street. I worked in the city of London. I worked in Chicago. I worked in the top levels of international finance for 15 years. I never met anybody that made a 2,300x. This is unheard of. This is massive. And by the way, what happened to the stock price after that? Once the public bought it, did it go up? It went down. Why? Because the public are sheep and sheep get slaughtered. Has anybody here ever bought a share from an exchange or a coin from a crypto from an exchange? Come on, I know you did. Well, you're the sheep, right? What do they say if you're looking around the room and you can't tell who the sucker is? What do they say? You're the sucker. That's what happens here. They sell it to the public and Peter takes his gains and the stock price drops. Anytime Wall Street is trying to make you money, don't believe them, okay? They are using you to cash out Peter Thiel. This is the way the game works. And that's why nobody's teaching you what I'm teaching you right now. What's the conclusion? The wealthy invest in early stage deals. A $10,000 investment in this company would have made you $23 million. How many people could have invested $10,000 in this back in 2004? Come on, if you would have squeezed and sold the car and mortgaged the kids, you could have. 23 mil, right? That gets you a long way. Maybe not to retirement. Some of you ballers, Angela Kay looks like a baller. But you know, it puts a little dent in the bank account, right? It can do a little spending. That's what happens. This is what happens every day, folks, and you're not told about it. Has anyone ever heard of this, by the way? Wall Street does not educate this. They don't teach this in schools, nothing. The other conclusion is this: the wealthy invest in early stage companies and the public markets are for suckers. If you buy Bitcoin on an exchange, Ethereum on an exchange, Tesla on the stock market, just know somebody else already made 500 to 1,000x on the investment. Now, look, we all in my groups, we own Bitcoin and Ethereum. We love crypto. We think it's a good investment, but it ain't going to make 1,000x. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Raise your hand if you think Bitcoin is going to do 500x in the next 5 years. You're wrong. It's not. It's not going to be worth $1.5 million in 5 years. It's not. But our companies could. Let's talk about crypto. This happens in crypto, by the way. A pre-sale token, it's the same thing. You buy tokens at a set price before it goes on an exchange. What's an example? Solana. Raise your hands if you own Solana, if you've heard of Solana. It's a great example here. Some of you do. Okay, good. Laura owns some. Jeffrey does as well. Great. Well, guess what? Laura and Jeffrey, did you buy it back in April 5th of 2018 for 4 cents on the dollar? Anybody? Well, somebody did, Jeffrey. 79,300,000 tokens were sold. Look at the right. Go over to the right. See? They raised $3.17 million. This is on the blockchain. You don't have to take my word for it. It's all public, right? Guess what? The rich got richer because they knew this deal was happening. And what happened to the token? Well, it's roughly 20 some bucks right now. So somebody made a 59,000% return on that token. So don't get it twisted, folks. Somebody's making a ton of money out there. It's just not you, and it's not the public. It's people who have the financial intelligence and the deal flow to understand this stuff. And that's why nobody teaches this. My Wall Street friends hate me for teaching this stuff, okay? But we are able to do this now, all of us as individuals, and that's what we're doing inside Ventures, and I'll show you how. So at the end of the day, you have to pull the trigger. Fortune favors the brave, and if you don't do anything, you're gonna let this go by. So you can attend this class tonight, and you can go have a great weekend and never come back to this again. But the ones that pull the trigger are the ones that are gonna reap the rewards. And so at the end of the day, that's what you have to do. So how do you pull the trigger and decide? I'll show you how. You look at a lot of deals, or as my mentor Dan Pena says, you kiss a lot of frogs. And don't get me wrong, folks, every single week inside my investment club, we have a CEO come on the call live and pitch their company. These are pitch decks they come up with. These are a bunch of the companies. The bottom right, by the way, is Orange Comet, the William Shatner company. That's their deck with the cool racing cars, right? We kiss these nasty, slimy frogs every single week. And we're like, bad. Sometimes these CEOs come on and they're talking all sorts of nonsense. You're like, what are you kidding me? This is a terrible company. And then every now and then you get an Orange Comet, or you get a Vadim, or you get a Zarka, and you're like, oh my God, these people are hype. They're focused, they're motivated. There's nothing that's gonna stop these people from making $10 billion company. They got a great idea, they got great partners, they got great backers. When we see one, we take it. That's how it works. It's a volume game, folks. Does that make sense? You kiss a lot of frogs, or as my Pena said, you turn over rocks. That's what my mentor Dan Pena said. We kiss frogs like nobody's business. We'll kiss 5270 frogs live this year. Not to mention the other 400 or 500 deals we'll look at offline. This is what we do, folks. It's all rocket science. This is our deal flow monitor where we track every single deal, specifics, amount they're gonna raise, token deal, equity deal, blockchain, you name it. We got every single deal locked down for the team to look at. This is Orange Comet. This is Dave Broom on the right. This is what they're building, metaverses, digital collectibles for some of the biggest brands in the business. When Dave came on, he was so fired up, we had to invest with him. I'm telling you, once you see this guy, you'll go crazy. They just did digital collectible and metaverse drops with The Walking Dead, massive US franchise. Sir Anthony Hopkins, incredible actor. Scottie Pippen of the Chicago Bulls, the NFL. They're doing major Hollywood franchises. They just did William Shatner, right? Captain Kirk himself, for God's sakes. I got to hang out with him. What can I say? It's big. And guess what? I'm actually going to play this video for you. I usually don't play this, but I'm going to play this for you so you can know who we invest in. We invest in passion. We invest in people. We invest in great ideas. And when we met Dave, we were just all hyped up. We just had to get a part of this. And this is why, because this is Dave.
I never felt like I've left the entertainment industry and moving to Web3. I feel like I'm one that is trying to redefine it. If I don't sit there and go, that's it, man. That is fucking it. It's not walking out the door. If you feel great and you think you've done everything you possibly can, then you leave it to the world to determine if it's going to be successful or not. And that's what we're doing in Web3. We've been told, the movie studios to the Web3 industry itself, that there is no company in the world like Orange Comet now. We're looking to be a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company. Period, end of story.
And I haven't seen anybody coming through Web3 the way you guys do it.
We got involved in an amazing project with a British boy. His name is Joe Whale. I think I have the opportunity with Joe to make the next Pixar type movie, and all off of the mind and the work of a wonderful 13-year-old artist.
How do you find the bandwidth to do all these damn projects?
If I set out to do something, I get it done. And I'm not gonna fail here. There's no fucking way I'm gonna fail. I don't feel like I've reached my potential, and that's what's driving me. Tell kids and even grad students, they've got to find something that they believe in, first and foremost. You know, people say, passion's bullshit. No, it's not. It's not. It drives everything. It just does, man. Once you make that decision to do something and pursue something, and you gotta go, or you gotta get out. You don't know what tomorrow holds. Don't you want to try and live out your potential, find the happiness? We need to find inside of each of us what ultimately is going to make us happy and try and pursue that.
You guys know what I'm talking about with that energy, right? He likes to swear a lot too. What can I say? They do that in Hollywood, I guess, right? So look, we loved them. They got passion. They bring Hollywood sizzle into the blockchain, which is typically, you know, computer geeks and finance guys like me that don't know anything about sizzle. And that's why they're crushing this industry. Absolutely amazing. I was hanging out with them in Austin. Again, Animoca's looking at them. It's amazing. So this is the kind of thing that we do. We understand this. We've looked at so many deals that we can read people and we invest in passion. So that's super good. We know what to look for. But there's a couple other components that I want to share with you of what you need to know to look for. Oh, by the way, we also invested in Swissborg. They're the number one crypto wealth manager in Europe. They got 1 million users on their mobile app. They're building the bank of the future. This is a no-brainer for us. It will help us list our companies in the future. And it's part of our London Real empire of companies that we're building. And of course, Batum, this is the CEO, Eric Quisling, is going to be in the studio next month. These folks are amazing. They're actually getting metaverse adoption from Fortune 500 companies like PepsiCo, Google, Slack, insurance companies like State Farm, and they're building amazing things. It's what I always hoped Sandbox would be, but these folks are doing it for corporations, plug and play. Honestly, I'm going to create London Real's Metaverse in Batum. We're so excited about this company as well. And they just keep coming and coming. But the company we're hot on right now is the OpenAI killer. And I'm going to show you the details of what they're doing. Watch this space, folks, because I think this is our only choice or our only chance to kind of save us against the OpenAIs and Microsofts of the future. And that is Zarka. You heard Janet talking about it. It's a supercharged, intelligent, neurosymbolic, large language model from Singularity Net at massive scale. Try saying that 10 times fast, right? And again, if this terminology doesn't make sense to you, it will over time. That's not complicated. Large language model just means what ChatGPT does. It takes everything ever written, shoves it in a neural network, and it figures out how to predict the next word. That's all it does. But neurosymbolic means it has logic. And pay attention to this, folks. First of all, management team is Stick, Ben Goertzel, Janet Adams, and some of the top AI researchers in the world, like Sergey, we met him, Alexei. I mean, really smart people that have been doing this for 10 years, okay? The opportunity, obviously, ChatGPT moment, everyone's looking at it, everyone's putting towards capital and attention towards it, but they're getting something wrong. What is it? These deep neural nets have a big problem. They have no ability to reason in complex environments. They do not know when they're wrong. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about, right? You've seen these ChatGPTs, they make up stuff sometimes. They make up stuff and they don't know they're wrong. They don't know any better. It's because of how the neural nets are built. And they simply memorize instead of thinking. And we know the past can't predict the future. If you work on Wall Street like I did for 15 years, you realize the past doesn't predict the future. Otherwise, it would be easy to make money. It's not. So what's the solution? Well, neurosymbolic AI. This is a way that you can start to meta reason, right? That these AIs can now turn into artificial general intelligence. And again, when they're general intelligence, they might make better decisions. A narrow AI doesn't think about anything else. So if you tell it to make manufacturing more efficient, it'll come back and say, I just took all the oxygen out of the atmosphere because that way our machines don't corrode. And I'm thinking, well, now I can't breathe. That's what a narrow AI would do. An AGI might think about that. So we want to do that. And again, explosive potential. And also it escapes the monopoly factor. Right now we see monopolies having this, and this is going to make a way to decentralize it. Also, they're going to put it on smart contracts. They're going to put it out there on the blockchain. It's going to be a diversified global user base. And again, it'll democratize it so businesses can use it everywhere. This is important. We're building proof of concept right now. It'll be done by December. Then we'll put a bunch more money into it. And it'll be pretty much ready to probably dominate and create AGI, hopefully by the end of 24. Honestly, we don't have any more time left at this point. So the time is now to do it. And this is what they're doing. They already have AGI supremacy. They've already been learning on these robots and other large language models. And again, that's why we're lucky to have Ben Goertzel, who literally coined the term AGI. Look at some of these revenue numbers. I mean, they're off the charts, like talking about like $55 billion of revenue. in 6 years, if you 10x or 100x that number, you're talking about these massive companies, the biggest companies in the world, 5 trillion, 10 trillion, $15 trillion companies, right? Apple's 2 trillion. So again, the upside is obviously massive. And so the question is this thing the hottest thing we've seen? It is. And it's also done by people that we like and we trust. That's what's most important for me, especially when you're creating the intelligence of the future. So my question to you is this the next 1,000x return investment? How many people think it is? I mean, look, if I ever saw one, it's probably this. The other truth is that we're seeing very, very few other sensible AI projects. We see these ridiculous plug-in projects that want like $1 billion valuation. This project is actually reasonable. It's got the right team. It's actually one of the few companies I think that can win, and we're getting it at an incredible valuation. This is a no-brainer times 10, and we couldn't be more excited to have this opportunity. And thank for London Real Ventures, we get it. If we didn't have the ventures here, we wouldn't get this deal, because we're bringing the media to the table. By bringing all these aspects of the portfolio company and the media and our different levels of distribution, we can pass these opportunities on to London Realers. And that's what I'm doing. Because you're part of this community, you get the opportunity to jump in with us. And I didn't post any of this on social today. The only reason you were invited is because you've watched many episodes from us on our website. That's the only reason you're here. Nobody else knows this is happening, and we want to keep it that way. So how do you invest with the best? You surround yourself with the best. And I'll tell you why we've been so successful in the investment club and how you can be successful too. We surround ourselves with the best people. You probably heard this expression, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. How many people agree with that? You are? How many people? Come on, show me some hands, right? Okay, are you surrounding yourself with high performance people? Are you surrounding yourself with people that are gonna create the next $1 billion company? Alex is, he's raising his hand because he's in our club. But like, seriously, pull out your phone right now. I love this exercise. Take out your phone, everyone take out your phone and look at your last five text messages. Look at them, who are they from? Your mom, your brother, the utility company. How many of those are building the next $1 billion protocol? How many of them are creating an incredible game-changing company? How many of them are revolutionizing the world? How many? 1, 0, none probably, right? So you have to go out of your way to surround yourself with high performance people. And again, they're not gonna come to you. You have to go find them. So how do you do that? Well, you find a way to do that. And that's what we've done inside our investment club. And that's what I do in my personal life. That's why I took my daughter to Boston last year, because I wanted her to be pushed out of her comfort zone, because she's hanging out with all of her high school friends who are gonna do nothing. And I was like, you gotta get to BU, where you're gonna be surrounded by people that are smarter than you, more motivated than you, the Americans, they're gonna whip you into shape. And she agreed and she went, and now she's just completely blown her mind, and she's pushing herself harder than she ever did. That's why I went to MIT. In San Diego, I was the smartest kid in high school. In MIT, I was one of the dumbest kids in MIT. I had to really push myself to go. And that's what we do in the investment club. And we're lucky to have ourselves surrounded by people like Marianne. Marianne Bartels, the 35-year Wall Street veteran. She just recently went back to Wall Street. She's one of our founding members of the investment club, Chief Information Officer for Merrill Lynch Bank of America. She's OG to the max. She's investing in Zarka. She invested in Orange Comet. She invested in Swissborg. She invested in Batum because she knows a good deal when she sees one, and she's there. She was on our call on Monday. She's OG gangster. I love Marianne. She's so smart. She knows what the Fed's going to do before the Fed's going to do. For all I know, she tells the Fed what to do. She understands interest rates, bonds, yield curves, equities, commodities. She's smart. This is your new peer group. This is your new ally. She'll jump on a Zoom call with you if you want to. It's that easy. But it's not just one. We got 75 of these people. This is Andrew. He is our Metaverse expert. This is his NFT gallery, the Metaverse he built in the sandbox. Andrew is an OG. He also goes to one of the top executive training schools in Switzerland with their own slew of AI researchers. He's always just putting us in touch with what's happening. Another amazing asset. Then we've got Dr. Encore, right? YouTube OG. He was in the medical profession until 14 months ago. He remade himself, started a YouTube channel from scratch on a dare from me. Now he's got 400 videos from vlogging every single day, and he's completely reinvented himself. He brought us the Orange Comet deal. Encore brought the deal because he was out there networking. This is what we do. We turn people into these incredible people. He runs our investment committee now. That happened just like right in front of our eyes. So this is the network you have. And again, Encore's the guy. So this all comes down to my theory, folks. And I want to leave you with these one thought. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. I want to teach you how to do this. because this type of investing is going to be around for as long as we're around. Okay. Early stage investing. Once you master it, you can do it on your own. You can do it with us. You can do it however you want. And that's why I created the investment club. In 2021, I got a chance to invest in Cross the Ages and DeFi Yield app through a pre-sale token deal. Okay. Now, I had studied finance at the MIT Sloan School of Management. I worked for 15 years at some of the biggest companies in the world, banks everywhere. And I had never heard of any of this stuff. I didn't know about pre-sale tokens. And quite frankly, it scared the hell out of me. And I thought, this is so scary. This is so confusing. I got to teach this to my inner circle. So I let a few people know in my Crypto and DeFi Academy, I was doing this. Bam, we filled our first class up with 10 people in a heartbeat. And people were like, Brian, we're in. We've never even heard of this stuff before. And so we started teaching it and growing our investment club. And so this is what we do. Every quarter, we open up 10 spaces. I teach 6 modules of content. It's a 12-month program. Except at this point, everybody has always stayed. We haven't actually let anyone go because the more people we have, the stronger the organization. So at this point, it's a lifetime program. Every week, we have top CEOs on the call. We have private Telegram groups. You get access to all the deal flow, and you get a full year of our Kings of DeFi program, which is our advanced blockchain Web3 Metaverse program. First live call is next Thursday. And this is what it looks like. I'm always teaching. We got people in countries all around the world, 20 different countries. These are my 6 modules. I do real-time learning. The models will change every few months as new updates happen, new ways of raising money, new AI protocols. And I try to wear new colors every single time, right? Every single time I try to shake it up a little bit. I kind of like module 2, right? A little red, a little blue. Yes, I do choose these at random just to keep you on your toes. These are the modules, 6 modules. Module 1 is I tell you what is a blockchain AI metaverse pre-sale. We go deep into it. Module 2, I teach you what is a SAFT or a SAFE. By the way, put your hands up if you know what a SAFT agreement is. Anybody here know? Petya knows because Petya is in the investment club. Nobody knows? Where have you all been? No wonder everybody else is making money but you. This is how you invest in early stage. A SAFT agreement is a sale agreement for future tokens. A SAFE agreement is a sale agreement for future equity. They're derivatives contracts to buy tokens in the future for a fixed price today. It's how the rich get richer. And it's why you will stay poor if you don't learn this. That's the truth. And they're never going to teach you this. And it's never going to be taught in your schools or to your kids. And Wall Street's never going to teach you about it because they're too much making so much cash with this knowledge. Module 3 is deal flow part 1. We teach you how to do due diligence on all the deals, the 5 T's, team, technology, traction. Then we've got tokenomics and terms and conditions. Module 4, deal flow. We tell you how to go out there and find the deals. I was in Texas last week. I teach you how to go to a conference, how to dress, what section to go to, what ticket to get, how to exchange information using QR codes. Leave your business cards at home, Grandpa. That doesn't play anymore, all right? I'm talking real-time connections. You'll leave that conference with 15 pitch decks, right? That's what Ryan did, right? Carmen came to Paris with me. She left with 16 pitch decks, okay? This is how we do it. Module 5, we teach you how to nurture your investments, just like I did with Orange Common in Texas. Get them to the next level. We're gonna turn that into a 10, 20, $30 billion company, give everybody a 300-400x return on their investment, make everybody $3, $4, $5 million. My plan is to make my investment club $10 billion over the next 10 years. That's my plan, right? We're going to do it. Are you going to be a part of it? That's up to you, but we're going to do it. And so this is how we teach this. Module 6 is how do you get the exit scenarios? How do you get the cash out so you can take some for yourself and put the rest back into more deals so we create generational wealth. Everybody with me here? This is what we're doing. You're either going to hear about it because you'll see the guests on London Real, or you can be a part of it. It's up to you. This is our Telegram group where we share all the private information, keep it away from Zuckerberg's eyes, right? I don't want him knowing what we're doing. This is our Discord group where we leave all of our pitch decks. And this is the deal. We're oversubscribed. We always are. 7 have confirmed, 1's on hold. We have either 2 spaces or 1 space left. You can ask Russ Martini about that. The investment, because this is an investment in yourself and your future and your knowledge and everything, is a $50,000 investment. This is going to double to 100,000 in our next class because everyone told me I should double the price. They said it's too cheap. This is literally what everybody said last time. They said, Brian, this is too cheap. It's crazy. It's a significant investment, yes, but it has a significant result, right? Again, what did Robert Kiyosaki told me? He said, a poor person says, I can't afford that. A rich person said, how can I afford that? That's the difference between a rich and a poor person, period, right? Again, back in 2004, when Peter Thiel came to you and said, I got this investment in Facebook, you said, I can't afford that. You didn't say, how can I afford it? Little did you know you should have sold your car and made your 23 million. It's the mentality. So if you don't see this opportunity, you probably never will. It's the greatest wealth creation event in human history happening right now, and it's going to be over next year. That's the truth. And this special investment opportunity, Darko's closing in days. So you have to be a part of this. This was our opportunity on the last quarter call. It was this is a safe agreement, sorry, the SAFT agreement on the right for pre-sale tokens. I told everybody on the call, you better join us if you want in on this deal. It's a small, we're going to make some money. And what happened? In 24 hours, we made a 500% return on our investments. 24 hours. Honestly, we did this because we were bored. This wasn't a big deal. We all looked in, we put some money in. I made my members $300,000 in one day. Okay. That's just what we did. We know what we're doing here. We identify opportunities, we kiss frogs, we choose the princes. We have a track record of success, and we're going to make more and more and more money over the next 10 years. That's our plan. So again, don't take my word for it. I want to play one last video for you. And this is Jens. He's one of the founding members of this course. And he called me up today and said, Brian, he's like, nobody understands what we're doing in here. We're missing out on good people. I want to tell them what we're doing. I was like, all right, Jens, like, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to make you a video. And he sent this video over. So this is Jens.
Why should you join the investment club? And the next obvious question is, can I afford to join the investment club? My name is Jens Krautscheid, and I am an active investor in stocks and companies since age 14. And risking of stating the obvious, I'm German. Also, I am one of the founding members of the investment club. And I consider my decision to join the investment club as one of the best investment decisions I ever made and I ever will make. Why? We all had this pub talk, this talk at the dinner table where we complained about our hustle we have to do daily. We complained on the workload we have, and we try to top up each other who has more stress, who is more hustling. And then sooner or later someone says, well, if I would have been an early stage investor in PayPal, I would be so rich. Or if I would have been an early stage investor in Microsoft, I would be so rich. And this is nice. This is really nice. But let's be honest. If you would have had the chance back then, 1992, to invest in PayPal, would you have pulled the trigger? Would you have invested? Quite likely you wouldn't have, because you couldn't assess the situation. You couldn't value the situation enough. In the investment club, we get these offers on a daily basis. We get the next PayPals on our table. And then we have a team of 50 people, 60 people, of a growing community of people who will do these assessments. And they will say, do this, buy this, this is the way. And then we buy this. And the next question is, can you afford to join the investment club? And the question really should be, can you afford not to join the investment club? Times are getting tougher. AI is taking over. And in what company you want to invest? In which AI company do you want to invest? Do you want to invest in the ones who do the fridges, or do you want to invest in an early stage Coca-Cola who uses the fridges? It's up to your decision. I tell you now, invest in the investment club and be part of our fabulous, wonderful group. My name is Jens Krautscheid, and I wish you the best decisions of them all.
Yeah, we like Jens. People feeling Jens's energy, right? He's good. He's really good. He's like that all the time. He's invested in all of our deals, right? He writes big checks for our deals, and he loves it. He's like, Brian, you know what? You just keep bringing me these amazing deals, and he comes in, he helps with the network as well. And the truth is, everybody in the investment club is just like that, full of positive energy. Everybody wants you to be successful. I don't know about the rest of the people in your life right now. Do they really want you to be worth $100 million? I don't know if they really want you to be. Everyone in our investment club not only wants you to be worth 100 million, they expect you to do it. It's a beautiful environment to be in. Everybody collaborates for the big win. And folks, the lesson I want to leave you all with this, it only takes one. One of these deals changes your life forever, changes the life of your kids, your grandkids, generation stuff. One of these. And we already believe we have at least one of these right now in our portfolio. By the end of the year, we'll have 10 or 12 more. By the end of the year, we'll have more, and we'll just start stacking them up. We can't wait. And the best thing is, folks, this is a whole lot of fun. I get to hang out with Ben Gertzel and Janet and Dave Broom and the folks from Batum and the folks from Cross the Ages and Swissborg. These are exciting people doing exciting things, changing the world with this new technology. It's amazing. And so my final thoughts are this: don't let this year pass you by. The next 3 months are crucial. Learn early stage investing now. It's going to be here forever. But whatever I teach you, it's an investment in your future. You can use this with or without us. You can stay with us as long as you want. It's up to you, really. I think the bigger we are, the stronger we are. There's that old Nelson Mandela quote: you can go fast alone or you can go far together. We're going to go a long way together, and we love it. Liquid tokens and liquid equity have limited gains. I'm sorry, I love Bitcoin, but it's not going to 1000x ever. It's not going to be worth 20 million in our lifetime. I don't believe, at least not in 5 years. Neither is Ethereum, neither is Tesla. But our investments could be, Zarka could be. That's why we're doing this. You can learn from active investors for just $50,000. You can go to a business school for about $250,000, and guess what? None of those professors have made an investment in their life, okay? You can go to some other podcast or whatever. We are doing this right now with real chunky pieces of money, okay? I know all these people that are on my show. So we're doing this. You can learn from someone doing it, not talking about it. It's a significant investment with a massive ROI for you. And again, Martini twisted my arm last quarter and said, Brian, we need a payment plan. I hate payment plans. But Martini said, Brian, we need a payment plan. So 10,000 a month for 5 months gets you in. The reason we did it is because we don't want you to miss out on like a Zarka. So that means you make your first payment, you can get in on Zarka. And that's why we did it. And it's been good because we got some good people in the class. So again, if this isn't enough reason, then I don't know what's wrong with you. So there you go. It's the best deal flow in the world. It's the best network in the world. It's the best education in the world. And literally you can help us create the future. So again, the final thing to really think about is we need your help because we need to build the future and create the future. I think Zarka is our chance in determining what happens with AI. So folks, that's my presentation. Was that helpful for anybody here? Did you get something out of it? Did you learn something, hopefully? Hope I didn't doom and gloom you too much, but if you don't get the doom, you might not take the action. Folks, I kid you not. This is probably the most important moment of humanity right now. It's like for our very survival. And if we fall asleep at the wheel, which is what it looks like the whole world's doing right now, we're going to wake up in 2024 and 2025, and we're going to be like, oh my God, like what's happening? And it's going to be too late. It's very close to being too late right now. So please be proactive, do something. It really is important. Now, I've got these 2 young boys I get to look at every morning, and I look at them and I think, what is their teenage years going to be like? What is their later life going to be like? And I need to build a future where they can have a human existence that's worth something. So this is personal for me now. It just got personal, as Michael Jordan would say. And so maybe that's good. So that's it, folks. This is the story. I'd love to answer some questions. A bunch of people have been DMing me and saying, Brian, what do I have to do if I want to join? Again, I don't think there's many places left, but the one person who pretty much runs the show around here is Martini Sobrine. She's our director of operations. She actually has to approve every single person entering the investment club. She vets everyone, and you have to prove to her why you should be a part of the club. She also invests alongside of us in these deals. So I'm going to pass it to Martini. I'm going to go through the questions right now in the chat, and I'll come back and I'll answer anything anybody wants me to.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, between the matcha and this presentation, I am so pumped today, Brian. Like this is just absolutely amazing, and so many great things to look forward to for sure. So hopefully everybody here on the line got a lot of value out of today, and we're able to take quite a few notes. But one thing to keep in mind, that this is the most transformational time in human history right now. And for those of you who are a little bit, reluctant, about this AI, and especially after this presentation, I would just say that now is the time to lean in and to invest in AI and to invest in a greater future for sure. And of course, like it's time to invest strategically. Okay, so not just investing anywhere, but to invest strategically and to invest with the best. Okay, so we are opening up just a couple of slots in the investment club where you guys are able to go ahead and invest in these amazing innovations that are happening now. And I'm excited to be a part of it. And I'm just, when I look at people like Petya and Alexander who are on the line, I'm just even more pumped that we are a part of something that's just so great and just a part of just the change of this future. I'm just excited. So anyway, so I went ahead and put some links if you guys are interested in joining us and feel called to be a part of this amazing movement. I went ahead and left my links inside of the chat here. One is for you guys to take a look at the investment club. I know that Brian dropped a lot of gems today, but in case you're wanting to kind of just take some time to absorb everything, please take a look at the investment club page and see how we can best support you on this journey. And after you've gone ahead and you've taken a look at the page, jot down some questions, okay? Jot down some questions that you have for me and go ahead and book a call with me. And so therefore, if you have some really good questions, the call will flow a lot easier as well, okay? So I know that everybody is in different time zones and we're spread out all over the world, and I've opened up my schedule to try to accommodate. But if you don't see a time available that's for your time zone, please go ahead and connect with me on Facebook and send me a private message and just say, hey, Martini, I was on the masterclass. I'm interested, and just let me know where you're from and what time is available. And I'll definitely do my best to accommodate. You guys are very important to us. And at this point, we need all hands on deck for this exchange. So it's my privilege to be able to connect with you. And once again, there's always email if you want to email me there, but Facebook is always the fastest to get a hold of me. So we are so excited for all the innovation that's happening. We're so excited to be investing in a greater future, and we're even more excited to share this with this London Real community. And that's one thing that I can say that I've always appreciated about Brian, is that he's here to move us forward and to be a part of this greatest transformation that's happening in the world right now. So thank you for all that you do, Brian. And thank you all, this London Real community and this London Real Army, for being a part of this amazing shift. So we hope to see you on the inside, and definitely hope to see you on next Thursday's call. Back to you, Brian.
All right, give it up for Martini, right? She's amazing. She makes everything happen here, and she really, has built and helps us like really regulate, manage, control, and give direction to the investment club. So speak to her if you're interested. And thank you, Martini, for everything you do. Really appreciate it. And we get so much energy from you. Like, this community inside our investment club is amazing, right? I mean, Alex, you're here, right? Petya here. I mean, it's like, put your hands up. I mean, it's amazing. It's just like, it's an amazing group of people that we just love. We love working together. We love having these amazing conversations. We had Dan Tapiero on the call on Monday, who's like $2 billion hedge fund manager, walking us through how he invests and how we can be a part of his next fund. And everyone was just like, wow, like, this is a special moment to be tapped into these people. And these people feel our vision and they feel our energy. And so it's something really special. So appreciate everybody being here. Just checking some of the comments, and they're really interesting. Angela K said there will be no bodily or spiritual autonomy with UBI. Damn, Angela, that should be like an Instagram post or something. That's very, very true. Really well said, Angela, really well said. Rosa said, I don't trust humans to be more aware, conscious, and nice. I know, Rosa, that's the thing. We're gonna have to really shape up our act if we want to try to influence these AIs. If they've been literally look at the way we've been treating each other or animals, and then when they become more intelligent, why wouldn't they treat us the same? And again, these large language models have learned about everything that's ever been written about humans, especially what we write about each other. We're not exactly giving the best example, but I do think Mo's right. We can start now and start to really think about how we can be nicer to us and maybe be nice to the AIs. When you're talking to ChatGPT, say please. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. Miguel was talking just about that you've been following this in Kurzweil and a lot of this singularity for a long time, and just, I think you're watching it happen right now, and it's just really intense because a lot of people are calling this out. Miguel, what really surprises me is how the experts are shocked by how fast. I haven't spoken to a single AI expert that said, yeah, I thought it could go faster. This professor today, he's been in AI for 30 years. He said, I am absolutely shocked, and I'm still shocked today at how fast this happened. None of them saw this coming. So if the experts in the field could not see this exponential, if not vertical adoption of ChatGPT, what else don't they know? That's why they're scared. And next time you're not sure of me, watch their eyes next time the AI professionals talk. Not Satya Nadella of Microsoft. Like, he's not scared because he's trying to kill Google. It's payback time for him, and he just wants to pay back. But if you listen to Sam Altman, if you listen to Ilya, their computer tech guy, if you listen to the guys at DeepMind, they're all like, I'm really worried about what we're making here, but I'm going to keep going. So that just shows you we're onto something. Again, this is a chance to be a part of changing that future. I hope you join us on it. Please educate yourself more on this. Please have these conversations with your friends and family. I'm going deep down this rabbit hole, but I'm staying positive as well. And I feel really good that we're really interlinked now with Janet and Ben, and we can really be on the cutting edge and also understand what's happening behind the scenes. Because when you invest with a company, you get firsthand information with what's actually happening, which is going to be really helpful too. So that's what I would say, folks. Book a call with Martini, but only if you're serious. She's literally working around the clock trying to deal with all this volume of people that want to get into this program, but we say no to most people. But if you're interested, talk to her. We're just looking for people with good energy. You don't need to be a great investment person. You don't need to have a crazy network. You just need to have the right energy, and we'd like you to be a part of it. So that's it. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. All hail King Charles III, our brand new emperor, who will be crowned tomorrow at the coronation. And we'll be taking a little bit of a holiday on Monday here in UK, but we'll be here teaching, of course. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Big love. And I want to welcome our future AI overlords if they're watching this in the future. And that's it, folks. We'll see y'all later. All right. Take care. Bye.